College football, week 12, best bets. In this video, we go through some of the biggest games on Saturday and give you our favorite picks for every single one of them, as well as we dive into some bonus picks, as well as some player props at the end of the video. As always, my name is Austin. I am joined by Logan. Logan, it is good to see you. And we got to recap how we did last week. I was this close to the sweep, a little 4-1 week. Hey, 3-2 for you. We're delivering the people winners. That's what we try to do. Last year, if the people recall, end of the season, kind of going to November, we got red hot. And then it capped off with you not missing a single playoff pick. So let's see if we can have a great November. Let's keep the line moving and let's have ourselves a wonderful week 12. And let's just dive into the games. As always, they're time stamped down below. First one of the weekend, Logan. Notre Dame taking on Pittsburgh. Pitt 12.5-point underdogs at home. Over under 55.5. What are you doing with this ranked showdown? What you got?
Yeah, the double-digit spread concerns me a little bit in this one. I couldn't find an angle there, but I really do like the over 55.5. Look at Notre Dame, biggest remaining test of the regular season. Their defense started out the season really looking awful, but they've seemed to improve. But has their defense really improved, or is that really just the strength of the schedule in the recent weeks? I mean, every game, has against similar or good competition has been high scoring, a lot of offense. And I think that we get that sort of, game flow in this one. Pat Narduzzi has this Pitt offense really performing well. 6th in the nation in points, 40 points per game, 11th in the nation in passing yards per game. The weak point of this Notre Dame defense is really against the pass, 91st in the nation and allowing 232 passing yards per game. That's something that I really didn't see coming into this season being a weakness for him, but their secondary just hasn't been that great. Notre Dame's offense too, has been pretty good at scoring, 9th in the nation with almost 40 points per game as well. Two really good offenses, and I think they convert in the red zone. They have a very balanced attack, 26th in passing and rushing. Pitt's defense, one of the better units in the nation, but especially against the run, but they have not faced the Notre Dame running backs. I mean, that's how it is. Notre Dame's running a game is elite. That offensive line is very good up front. Look, Austin, I think even if Pitt does stop the run, Notre Dame's been, awful against the pass. CJ Carr, I think will perform well in this game. Both quarterbacks have a great day, and we go over in this one.
I mean, I like the over. It's a high line, but I think it does go over. I did actually find an edge on Pittsburgh. I'll take them plus the 12.5. A big stretch for them here. Obviously, a team that is 7-2 so far this season. Big stretch though. Notre Dame, Georgia Tech, and Miami. You got to get started off hopefully with a win here. And even if they don't win, I'm getting 12.5 points for a home team. As you kind of touched on, Notre Dame really struggling to stop the pass. And the QB for Pittsburgh, they kind of threw in there probably about a month ago. Mason Heinzschel. I don't really know how to pronounce his name, but the guy's been cooking. 300 plus yards in 4 of his last 5 games. He's lighting up the scoreboard. Pittsburgh's defense a little bit questionable, which is why, I do like your over angle. But I think Mason and company is going to be able to put up points here. And the guy's just been slinging it around. I mean, he's just been making deep plays. And this Notre Dame secondary is a little bit not intimidating as it has been in years past. And Notre Dame also hasn't really played many road games. Like since October 1st, they played one road game and they struggled a little bit there against Boston College. Sure, they beat them by 15, but 25-10. I don't think Pittsburgh only scores 10 points here. So I think it's a back and forth game. Maybe it's tied closest to that going into the fourth quarter. I think Pitt has a chance at pulling off an upset here. And I think Notre Dame maybe slips up. Final real test, Syracuse and Stanford left on their schedule. See them maybe slipping up here a little bit in Pittsburgh. Obviously not the easiest place to play in. Our next game, we have an SEC showdown between Oklahoma and Alabama in Tuscaloosa. Right here, seeing Bama as 5.5-point favorites over under 46.5. Logan, what are you feeling on this one?
Yeah, I'm on Alabama in this one. I'll lay the points with the Tide. I do feel like this could be a little bit trappy because Alabama does feel like the easier side to be on, but this team is just playing really well right now, and I'm not going to go against Kalen DeBoer and what he's been doing. Alabama 8 straight wins, four against ranked opponents. They've covered every home game this season, each time by double digits. So a shorter spread. I think they're up to the task in this one. John Mateer for Oklahoma, he just really hasn't looked great since returning from injury. Fewer than 200 passing yards per game. His completion rate dropped to 60%. He's had some turnovers as well. John Mateer just hasn't looked comfortable in this Oklahoma offense. And Alabama's defense has been holding opponents to under 20 points in 4 of their last 5 home games. And it's been really good against the pass, 10th in the nation against the pass. So they can really stifle John Mateer and what they want to do through the air, turn Oklahoma into a one-dimensional type unit. I think that's how they have success in this one. And Alabama, despite their running game being questionable, Ty Simpson's really looked great in this Alabama offense. And I think that even though Oklahoma prides themselves on defense, Ty Simpson's a baller. You do not, don't bet against this guy with success. I think it's roll tide in this one.
Yeah, I'm not fading you directly, but I would be on Oklahoma in this one. But I think the better play is taking Alabama team total under 27.5. Now, there's been worlds. Logan and I have been on the opposite sides in a similar fashion, and both of us have cashed. I don't have a lot of hope in the Oklahoma offense. They are coming off their bye week, though, so we'll see if maybe they're a little bit better. But I just think this defense is going to show up. They had back-to-back, just not great games. Like, obviously, Ole Miss hung 34 on them, and then Tennessee last week, 2 weeks ago, put up 27. But I think this defense is better than that, getting some guys healthier. They'll be obviously had a full week to practice, and obviously had an extra week here coming off their bye. I like Ty Simpson. I don't think he takes many risks, though. And maybe that's kind of what you need to do to score against a team like Oklahoma. Like, only one pick, that's great. But sometimes I feel like he's trying to just boost that completion percentage at 67%. And it's not like they've been a high-powered offense. They just came off a week only scoring 20 versus LSU. Another good defense. The week before that, 29 versus South Carolina. Like, those aren't really inspiring me a ton. I think that Oklahoma can keep them below that one. Their offense might suck, and that hopefully might be the case for Logan. Maybe Alabama's just chewing clock the whole second half. I do kind of like Bama team total under, though, for that game. Our next game, though, Logan. Yeah, we're taking Iowa versus USC. Last week, both of us cashed on this Iowa game. I had the under, which was as sweat-free as it gets. You backed Iowa to cover, and they easily did that. This week, though, 6.5-point dogs on the road in LA, taking on the Trojans. Logan, what are you feeling? Are you running it back with Iowa?
I'm running it back with Iowa. Yeah, you read my mind. I'll take them in the underdog spot here. Getting 6.5. I'll take it. Last week we took them with the points. They look great in that game. Very ugly, very sloppy game. But we're almost, we're getting 2 field goals and the hook, not quite the touchdown. But Iowa's defense has been one of the best in the country, and that's what they did exactly last week. They've really challenged teams in the trenches. Last week against Oregon, still allowed just 16 points. And even had a chance to win late in that game, just couldn't quite close it. When you play a physical brand of football like that, number one, it travels no matter where you go. Let's not act like Southern Cal is a tough place to play. I mean, that's just it's not a daunting road environment. But I still think the brand of physicality of Iowa football will travel for sure. USC's offense, high flying, but at times it's really their defense is what allows them, it lets them down. Their tackling is not elite at all. USC's defense, 60th in the nation in rushing yards allowed. That's not great against a team that wants to line up at the line of scrimmage and just punch you in the mouth. And that's something that USC, I really think that's where Lincoln Riley struggles, is teams that are just overly physical and that can kind of push you around, chew clock, and win ugly. USC wants to turn it into a track meet, but Iowa and their very elite defense is not going to allow that to happen. Iowa's a very tough-minded team. Iowa's 3 losses this season have all been decided by an average of 3 points. Even on the road, I just don't think their identity changes here against USC. So I'll take the Hawkeyes plus the points.
This will be the only game on the card that I'm directly fading you. I'm on USC. I think it's too easy to take Iowa. I think everyone saw how close they were against Oregon last week. And I get your points. I mean, they could easily win this game outright. Wouldn't shock me. But I think USC is the better squad here. J.D. Mayava, he's a stud. And I just don't – when Iowa goes on the road, they're away from Kinnick, the team, I just don't trust them at all. They can get as many points as they want. I just don't trust them. And if this – we're looking at the total for this game at 49.5, I get it's USC involved, but – I don't know how many totals Iowa's been involved in that are in the high 40s. I mean, you saw last week, I don't even think, what was the line? Like 38, 41.5. It was obviously sweat-free under. I don't know, man. This one feels like a game where Iowa's down 14-0 and they're asking Mark Gronowski or whatever his name is to try to make some throws, and it just doesn't go well. I think you'll know if USC is a winner by the first quarter. If USC comes out strong to get out to a lead, they're going to cash their spread. If Iowa can keep in this game and establish the run, USC is going to be cooked probably, but we're on differing angles, Logan. Last week I won our battle. Wake Forest, you tried fading them. Come on, man. No fading the Demon Deacons. We got to be better than that. Although you can probably fade them this week, and it's probably a free winner. Our final game of the week before getting to some bonus picks, Logan, is Texas taking on Georgia, the only battle of 2 top 10 ranked teams. I already spoiled your pick that you got for the people, so I'll let you talk about Georgia while you're on them.
Yeah, I mean, you see it on the screen. I am rolling with Georgia in this one. Look, the way I kind of look at the slate is I would really be shocked if Alabama and Georgia both lost home games against these SEC opponents. Like, it's really tough to go into Georgia, go into Athens, and come out with a win. And this Texas team, they're so inconsistent. I mean, they were great on the ground against bad competition. But they were not great against Kentucky, got stuffed by Florida, really couldn't, they had to kind of come from behind in a miraculous way against Mississippi State. Georgia's front seven on defense will be way better than any of those teams they faced, and they struggled against a lot of those teams. 12th in rushing yards allowed is Georgia. Texas is really going to have a hard time moving the ball. Texas scored 34 and 45 points in their last 2 games, but their defense has struggled in those games. Georgia's won 5 games in a row. They've scored at least 35 points in 3 of those 5s. I just think Georgia's offense is going to be able to overwhelm them, and their defense will be able to back them up. Really, I think Georgia's, their offense is coming into form. And I don't think Texas is really going to. This is a tough environment in Athens. This is like one of those games that you see those nuts in the first row. They're wearing the big Georgia spiked shoulder pads. They're going horns down like that. Like, come on, I could see Texas just getting ran out of the building. So I love Georgia in this angle.
Yeah, I'd be right there with you. I like points though in this game. I'm on the over. Last week I was on a bunch of unders. I think this is an over week. You're already on a couple in this one. I like the over here. I think Georgia could put up another 30+ point game. I mean, you talk about their offense. Last few games have been cooking. 41 last week against Mississippi State. A weird game against Florida, but then 43 against Ole Miss. At 35 points against Kentucky. And you talk about Texas defense. Last 2 weeks prior to their bye, they are coming off their bye, 31 and 38 points. I think Gunnar Stockton's playing super well. The run game's going. And I also think Arch is sneakily playing better. Now, I'm not saying Arch is back, or maybe, he's going to be the next Peyton Manning, but he is looking really good. And this is a guy that a lot of people have high expectations for Arch coming into his first ever starts. And I feel like a lot of people have just kind of thrown him to the shelf. It's just like, I'm done playing with you, and it's dropping him and picking up Ty Simpson or Julian Sayin, dropping Woody. I'm still in on Arch. I think he's turning the corner and coming off a bye week. I think Sarkisian and company has something ready for Georgia. Teams with a good amount of familiarity based on how many times they've played each other the last few seasons. I like the over, but I think a lot of the points come from the Bulldogs. But I do like an over in that game. But Logan, it is time for some bonus picks. I'm going to let you lead things off, and then I'll talk about my bonus pick of the week, as well as some player props at the end of the video. But take it away. Where are you going?
I hope you have a little bit of caffeine for this one if you want to sweat it out, because it is a late game on the East Coast. So if you're on the East Coast like I am, stay up for it. I'm taking San Diego State minus the 2.5. Rolling with the Aztecs. A little technical difficulty there, but I love San Diego State in this spot. If all they got to do is win by a field goal against Boise State. Boise State just got whooped by Fresno State 30-7 in their last game. Boise State trailed 10-7 at halftime, was shut out in the second half, and starting quarterback Maddox Matson, a guy that pretty well known in the college football circle, he got knocked out of that game, and he will miss this contest as well. So you got backup quarterback for Boise State. How well are they going to do against a pretty good San Diego State team? Their offense, middle of the road, not an explosive offense at all, but their defense has been really good, with the exception of last week, as well. But look at their season total: 4th in points allowed, 11th in passing yards allowed, 10th in rushing yards allowed. This is an elite defense. They can really shut everything down, especially against the backup quarterback in this one. I think it's just going to be a really tough task for Boise State to really compete in this one. And you look at San Diego State. Maybe they're not as explosive on offense, but what they do really well is they can run the ball. Lucky Sutton, running back, for San Diego State, and that's where you can exploit this Boise State defense. Boise State's been pretty good against the pass, but not so much against the run. 88th in rushing yards allowed. I think this matchup aligns really well with the strengths of San Diego State, and I think the Aztecs roll in this late game. If this one finishes before midnight, I'd be shocked. It won't, but midnight on the East Coast, we're going to have to stay up late for this one, but I am willing to sweat out one of these later games out on the West Coast. I love this one as my bonus pick of the week. Austin, what you rolling with?
Yeah, I don't think the technical difficulties are a good omen for San Diego State. But you know what? I'll stay up with you. We'll sweat that one out, and that baby is cashing. Last week, my bonus pick of the week, Nebraska money line. They came through for us. Try to see if we can do it over again. Now, Nebraska, I would say, a program heading in the right direction. I found a program that I would argue not heading in a good direction, but let's talk all about them because, man, the news that came out on Wednesday, not ideal for them. Let's talk all about Michigan State, the Sparties. They're not plus 7.5. Actually, no, they are plus 7.5. I got confused about my Nebraska pick. They're plus 7.5, minus 110 as they're at home taking on Penn State. Now, if you missed it, Michigan State had some things drop down this week where they vacated, I think, 14 of their wins because they had some ineligible players and stuff like that. I think they're on probation for 3 years. So not a program heading in the right direction. But you know what? You can get a W here. I don't think their head coach has a single Big Ten victory. I think they can get one here against Penn State. Penn State, we know they played Indiana tooth and nail all the way to the end of that game. And you could argue they could have won that one. But I feel like this is a big letdown spot. I feel like you have the highs of almost beating a team like Indiana. Who the hell wants to get up for playing a team like Sparty? Sparty has sucked recently, and I just don't think Penn State's really going to want to get up for this game. I get getting up at home. Your crowd's getting amped up. On the road, taking on Michigan State, I don't know about that. I also think Michigan State is in for a weird spot here. Now, they do have a QB controversy. And man, if Aiden Childs suits up under center, I don't love this pick as much. But if you missed it, freshman QB, I'll try to pronounce his name. I guarantee I missed it up. Alicio Milovijevic. I butchered that. But he looked really good. A freshman QB came in last week. They did lose against Minnesota, a good Minnesota team, but 311 pass yards. He looked the part. And Aiden Childs, if you've watched him the last couple of years, the guy sucks. He just doesn't look good. And I understand why they might go back to him. But you have a freshman QB that came in here and gave the team a little bit of juice, a little bit of fight. This is a team that's lost 6 straight games, 0-6 in the Big Ten. Like, eventually, give your home crowd something to root for. I know if when my team is sucking and they turn over to a new QB, that gets the stadium at least a little bit amped up. Like, hey, we get something else to root for. If Aiden Childs is back under there, they're going to be pissed off because they know what he is. He's a fraud. He stinks. I think that they put this guy under there. I think they have a chance at beating Penn State outright. And I think that this Penn State program is going in the wrong direction. I think Sparty can keep this one close. Plus 7.5, get the touchdown on my side. Sparty could make me look smart. They can make me look like an idiot. Hopefully, it is making me look smart on Sunday. Finally, we end with some player props. A reminder, we play these on Underdog. If you are new to Underdog, you need to do one thing. You sign up with my code COS or the link in the description. All you got to do is play $5 and they give you $100 in bonus funds. Heck, use the bonus funds on the CFB parlay or use it on my NFL ones. We always do an NFL underdog slip. Here's some of my favorite props. Talked about Mason Heichnell. I think that's how you pronounce his name. I think if the guy's been slinging it 300 plus yards consistently, Notre Dame, Logan talked about how bad their secondary has been. If they're going to have any chance of covering 12.5, he has to have a good game. Ty Simpson fading him 2.5 pass touchdowns. I already talked about Alabama, like their team total under there. Ethan Grunkenmeyer, you already know I'm fading Penn State. Or fading him. And then Arch Manning, I think, is a sneaky decent game. I like the over in that game. I also like his more than 240.5 passing and rushing yards. You throw like $10 on that puppy, turns into 70. Either way, we're smacking that underdog entry. Reminder, code COS or the link down below. Final thing to note, if you want to do us a favor and you want to check out an NFL video where I think we went through 14 games this weekend, I will link that video over here on the screen. Go tap into it. Go check it out. If you want to hear our thoughts on your favorite team's game this weekend in the NFL, you can check it out there. We can't skip a single game. We got to give out a pick, either a side or a total. So make sure you tap into that. Either way, we're out of here. We'll see you guys back again next week. That's week 12. If one of us goes 5-0, that would be electric. Let's bring out the brims, and we'll see you guys back in the next one. Peace.